Welcome to M-6, the empowerment strategy to maximize instructional time and resources. By completing this module, you're going to earn a badge. That way you can display it on your door hanger. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what M6 really does. Teachers design lessons that are engaging, and they use a lot of instructional strategies, focus on achievement, and use effective time. So they're not building everything themselves. They look for our resources that we have at the district, and they also utilize personnel that we have. So what does this look like? This looks like working with your PLC, co-teaching with an ITF, using sponge activities. That way your students can soak up as much instructional time as they can and make smooth transitions between activities. This focuses on teachers giving clear and specific directions, both written and oral, so our students understand what they need to do next. To have time guidelines and timelines and timekeepers so students are able to stay on pace and you're not constantly giving more time. Students have roles in their class to increase efficiency in group work, always having backup plans. Teachers tend to know that backup plans are incredibly important when lessons don't go as planned, when they run short or need to be adjusted. Establishing classroom procedures and routines for class so students know what they to do as soon as they come in. Organizing and preparing materials, groups, and directions in advance. Using our digital resources to provide differentiated lessons. Enforcing classroom and school rules are incredibly important. That way your routines and procedures can minimize disruptions. Create and post a daily, weekly, and unit plan for students and parents so they know how everything kind of comes together and falls in. Having some brain breaks with some music and transitions so students can reset for a new task. Use a calendar, agenda, and other digital organization tools. Eliminate busy work is a big one. That way you are choosing meaningful learning activities for your students and planning activities for your early finishers to avoid that, oh, hey, I'm done, what do I do now syndrome that a lot of students are for. So we're going to take a look at the learning log. So a learning log basically is a document that students can have throughout a unit so they can document the things that they have learned as they go through it. So for our learning log, basically what it is it's a document that you're able to share and post up around the room. So if you have any sticky board or sticky tape or anything like that, you're going to be filling this out as you go. So there's a couple of ways that you can do a learning log. You can do one for each student, or you can create one that's shared across the way. So for our learning log for today, which is also linked directly into our Canvas, is it has all of the tools that we're going to be utilizing that you're able to do. So I am sharing with you one that everybody gets to work on together. So if you miss something, you can kind of have somebody else come in and fill in some information. So for like the learning log here, it is note-taking, keeping up with what they have learned. So you'll have this up on the board and you'll go through all of the things that you've learned or strategies that you've created as you've gone through this. So as you can see, there are a lot of different strategies that we are going to go through today. We're going to start with part one, which is what do we already know and what do we need to know? And there's some really important things to go in behind that for our students to kind of gauge the pre-check and find out where we're going to need to be going in our units. So for this section, I'm going to have you go to a dot storing board. You're going to be placing a dot in some of the things that you already do in your class to kind of figure out where your students are and where they need to go. And that will be posted up in the Play Pause It in just a second. So for this part, for our research, we are going to go back and we're going to find out how to annotate a text. If you click on this link, it's going to open up the reading bookmark that we've developed for the secondary level, and you're going to kind of focus in on the ways that we're able to look at those texts. So when you send out an article to your students, you could use a sponge toss to kind of set up what type of thing that they should be focusing on their reading. And the idea behind this is to use the 4 A's protocol, which if you click here, it'll open up a different thing. So the questions of the 4 A's are, what assumptions does the author hold? What do you agree with? What do you want to argue with? And what do you want to act upon? Now, these are really good ways for our students to engage in a text. It's also really good for professional development and our teachers that are constantly learning to look at these things as we develop professional development articles. Now I'm going to show you a brain break. Basically, it is going to be a part where a partner and you walk to the end of the hallway, reflect on the things that you've learned, and kind of take over where you're going to be going.
walk, talk, and decide is an exercise where the students pair off and they walk around and discuss a kind of open-ended question that I pose based on what it is that we're either just talked about as a review, or you could do something that you want to propose as a lesson. The students get up, walk around, jotting down different ideas that they come up with as a pair. Then they can kind of distill all of their ideas into one sentence that they share with the group. Students like walk, talk, and decide because they get to get out of their seats, they get to talk with their friends, walk around the room. I get different ideas when it's time to listen that maybe I hadn't thought of, that students kind of maybe heard or thought of on their own.
So, getting ready to learn. I want to talk about the purpose of warm-ups. If you click on the Peak warm-up selection, it's going to take you to a Google Doc that will have a number of documents built in for you to see how Peak recommends doing warm-ups. And it's a good way to get our students engaged and warmed up, ready to go for the day, and find out what information they need to know and base what information they already know. The other thing that's on here is Flippity, so I'm going to make you watch a brief video on what the add-on Flippity can do for you.
Hi, this is Richard Byrne. In this video, we're going to take a look at the new Flippity add-on for Google Sheets. This is a new add-on that makes it much easier to access all of Flippity's handy Google Sheets templates for things like making flashcards or making a hangman game. So let's go ahead and try it out. I'm here in a blank Google spreadsheet. I'm going to go to my add-ons menu and let's say get add-ons. Do a quick search here for Flippity and let's add it in. So now it's installed. Once I've installed it in one Google Sheet, it'll be there for any other Google Sheet I ever create. And let's go and pick a template. And now you can scroll through all the available templates. Let's use the flashcards. And this will populate your spreadsheet with all the information you need. Now this link here is important because this is a link at which your finished product, in this case flashcards, will be displayed. So I'm going to just copy that link address for now. We'll close it. And now we can go and modify these flashcards. So instead of using the default ones here, let's say who won the World Series in 2016, and we can put in Cubs. And you can even change your card and text colors if you want to, as well, as you can see. Now let's go ahead and publish this. So to do that, we'll go to File, Publish to the Web, and you can see we've already published it. Let's use that link from earlier, paste it into place, and there's our flashcard. Who won the World Series in 2016? We'll flip it over. Oop. Flip it over. There it is. Cubs. And we can turn on the sound.
Cubs.
Or turn off the sound.
The 14th President of the United States, Franklin Pierce.
So that's Flippity's new Google Sheets extension. As always, for more tips and tricks like this, please check out freetech4teachers.com.
Now we're going to go over the closure for the give and get. So this is a give and get strategy where I will demonstrate in just a second how to fold the paper that you need to do. The goal is for you to have 16 squares on your paper. And you will go around the classroom and you will write down in a complete sentence in each square with a key point that you learned today about feedback. So something that you've learned in the day, you're going to put in each square. When the timer rings, you're going to go to another person. You're going to share your ideas with that person, and you're going to be able to add their information directly to your box. And we're going to keep going on until time is called. The idea is that every student in the class will have 1 or 2 key takeaways on this sheet of paper so they can advance and be ready for the next day. On the way out the door, my recommendation would be to have your students circle what they think is the most important takeaway from the day and tell it to you as they're leaving. And that could serve as a perfect exit ticket. So part 2 is, what does this look like in our classrooms, or how can we do this in our classrooms? Well, there's a couple of things that you might be really interested in. So this is the Discovery Ed SOS strategies. So if you're looking for a specific strategy for vocabulary, you could type it in and it will pop up all the ones that have vocabulary in the thing. Or you can even look at types of strategies. So if you're looking for key ideas or details, it will pull up only those. So if you're looking for a 6-word story, you sign in directly into Discovery Education, and it will pull these all together. So you can actually see the video in action. So as you are looking
Discovery
for
Education presents Spot.
they will go through all of them and it will show you how they work in your classroom. What I want you to do is kind of in your head think about which ones would be really effective in your classroom and really engaging, so you could utilize one of these strategies when you get back to the class. I'm going to have you tell us which one you'd like to use, why you think it's the most important, and then 1 to 2 ways that you can use it in your classroom. Let's take a quick break. Let's do a roller coaster.
The next one is the roller coaster cheer. This one I just have them stay in their seats. They lean back a little bit, and then you pretend like you're holding on to the bar of a roller coaster, and everyone goes click, 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 whee! They love it.
For A, stand and stretch. Other checks for understanding. If you'll see right now, you're going to have a pop-up tool that will take you to the Teacher's Toolkit, which is a website that will show you different strategies for classroom management, opening activities, checking for understanding, and the like. So we're going to have you explore a few of these on your own. Don't take more than like 4 to 5 minutes, and you're going to add them to the Mentimeter poll that will pop up in a second. My recommendation is to bookmark this page so you can hold on to these things and use them at your convenience. And then part 3 is, what plans and resources can I make to become more effective and utilize my time and maximize my instructional time and use the resources that are at my disposal? One of my favorite activities for a warm-up, and this is a way to trigger previous learning, is you're going to give each student an index card, and students are going to write down on their index card what they remember from the day before and when time is called. When we say go as an educator, they're going to turn their card over, stand up, and pass it to somebody else quietly, and they're going to keep jotting down their ideas. When the music changes, you're going to turn your card over, read it, and keep passing it, and you're going to keep getting more and more. The benefit of a swap meet is it also allows for students that were not in school the previous day to be immediately caught up on the things that they've learned from beforehand just by having a quick index card with the top. Last but not least, I want to share with you a few tech tools that we have that we could utilize in our classrooms to check for understanding. A lot of these websites come up every once in a while, but a couple of our favorites are Quizlet, which is like online flashcards, and they also have a Quizlet Live feature, which allows kids to go back and forth. Quizalize is a really good way to check for understanding and make sure where students are. Quizzes is the best way I can use to describe that. It's like Kahoot, but it's much quieter. Go Formative, Socrative, Go Soapbox, Plickers, and of course you can check the website we previously used to take a look at other checking for understanding strategies.